Capricorn, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late January 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in energy and see what's happening for the lovely Capricorn collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My God, Spirit Team, talk to me. What do we got for the Cappies in late January, just past your birthday season? We're right here on the borderline at the time of this reading. What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we've got for the Cappies in late January. What is the vibe? What is the energy for my good friends here? Get this card out nice, and I really do hope you all had a really happy birthday. Okay, we have the Fool card. Now this isn't a usual tarot deck, it is an oracle, but this card has a lot of the symbolism of the Fool in tarot, so it does have a lot of those archetypes. Usually it's lighthearted, it's a big action card, and there's a lot of stuff that goes along with it. Lots of positives, a few challenges, and we'll get further in depth on that in a minute. Before we do though, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the January subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So we see this lovely lady. She's dressed up as a jester, and at her feet, I know it's kind of hard to say, maybe if I put it under here a little bit, she has 3 cards at her feet, which are the Fool cards. They're different renditions from this artist. So we think of all those archetypes. The Fool is the first of the major arcana. It's all about taking action, making moves. So again, it's a fiery Aries-based type of energy, so it's about initiating things. So for a lot of Capricorns, you might be getting the wheel rolling on something, where Spirit could be telling you like, all right, now's the time to move, now's the time to act in regards to something. Usually this is a start, pardon me, of a new cycle, new journey, really good energy with this card. But the challenge with the Fool card is that sometimes it could be a little too spontaneous, it could be a little too fiery. So Spirit could be telling you like, hey, slow and steady, don't go into anything too fast. There might be a need for caution when this card is here, because it is very fiery. But generally when I see it, I think it's a fantastic energy. So we'll see if more of these archetypes start to show up throughout the main part of the reading. So we're going to put the Fool over there. Fool could get ready for their next venture. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say the first card here, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for the Cappies. Let's see what's happening in late January. What's going on for my good friends? And yeah, but while we get this shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled A Sudden Stop. And the way the energy with the reading itself was flowing, it's like, all right, the energy was going, and then boop, like the brakes got like slammed on something. So just know that energy could bleed over for a few weeks, where there could be certain situations where either you're going to stop giving energy to it, or just like things come to a halt rather quickly. And it doesn't have to be a bad thing. But we're going to see what shows up for you this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for the Cappies to start. Let's get them out here. What do we got for our good friends, please? Late January for the Capricorns. Thank you. Okay, 2 cards. Interesting. So first card is the Ace of Cups. I really do like this card. I think it's usually very positive. It's an emotional energy, but it's a vibe you could definitely roll with. But it did pop out here with Mr. Hanged Man, which makes sense with the vibe we were picking up last week. So we'll let him chill right there for a minute. Let's get one more card. What do we got here for the Cappies, please? Okay. I mean, lots of aces, lots of potential. So we have some very similar archetypes going on here. We have the Ace of Swords, the Sword of Truth, right here on the back end. And I feel like this card might be the card of the week, because I was picking that up in the fire signs and the air signs. Now you're getting it. So let's go through I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, elementally, I think we're looking okay. There's a lot of internal energy showing up here. We have water, we have air. It's like the heart, the emotions, the mind, the communication. Both of these cards do link to communicating as well. Now, the Hanged Man, some people give it to Virgo, some people give it to Pisces, some people give it to Scorpio. I'm more of a Scorpio Virgo type of energy here in the center. So it's like earth and water. But yeah, a lot of internal energy showing up. So in this time, you might feel a little intensity in your emotions more so than you usually do. But I like that there's aces. You see this Hanged Man, he's like, all right, I'm looking at this. I'm considering, I'm thinking, I'm weighing options, which could be a good thing. But let's go through piece by piece and really start to build it out, because there's similarities here, but there's also some pretty big differences. Position number one, we are starting with the Ace of Cups. As I said, really fantastic. All aces are opportunities, all aces are offers. So again, they could link to talking to, so whether it's a conversation of some sort, an emotional communication where someone's just letting you know how they feel, or again, an opportunity or an offer that's going to hit your emotions in a very positive way, make you feel very happy. I think the Ace of Cups is nice. Now, it does tie into connections, relationships, love, romance. Usually on its face, this is a very positive card. But in its tougher aspects, this Ace of Cups in reverse, it's feeling a little crummy, right? It's not the best type of energy. Now, I will say this, there's a lot of potential with these energies, but at the same time, the big thing with all aces is they're not guaranteed. They're a fresh energy, they're a new energy. Now, remember the theme we're starting to see. We had the Fool here in the very beginning. That's a fresh new energy. We have the Ace of Cups, fresh new energy. Ace of Swords, fresh new energy. It's like new, different paths opening up, which can be really good for you. But with this Hanged Man in the middle, it feels like I'm considering different paths and options here, which I think could be a good thing. Now, moving to the center, we do have the Hanged Man, and if there is going to be a possible problem or situation, it might come here. And I always say all cards have positives and challenges, and we see our pal, the Hanged Man, already told you, I see it as like Scorpio, Virgo energy. It's a retracted, pulled back type of vibe, very similar to the Hermit. This guy's not moving. So last week's reading was like a sudden stop. This guy's not doing much, right? Now, this can be good. I'll give you the positives first. The Hanged Man is extremely analytical. So it's like I'm looking at the details. I'm looking deeper into something. I could be very strategic as well. So whether it's watching something, keeping an eye on something, or planning something, that's a big vibe here. This is a card of self-sacrifice as well, where it's like, all right, I'm going to take one for the team. Or I'm going to put someone else's happiness ahead of mine, right? Maybe that's something you do from time to time. But the challenge is with this card, it's stubborn. It's not quite moving. It's like, yeah, no, I'm not giving an inch of ground here. And it can seem like something has stalled out or stopped when this card is here. So again, it could be a problem. It could be a situation we want to look at further. If not, it's like I'm thinking, I'm watching, I'm planning. And especially with the two aces like surrounding, it's like, what do I do? Which way do I go? How am I going to play something? So we really want to look into all this further. Now, as we get to the back end, we do have the Ace of Swords, beautiful energy. And the nickname for this card is, of course, the Sword of Truth. And again, I've seen it for a lot of signs this week. It's showing up for you. All the things that I was saying, or most of the things I was saying about this Ace of Cups still ring true here. Offers, opportunities, new things, fresh things, communicating, talking. This one's a bit of a different style, whereas this one on the front is very emotional and connected to feeling. This is a card of logic. So it's like, all right, do I go with the heart or the mind? Do I go with how I feel or with what logically makes sense when this card is here? Now, for a portion of you, the challenge of this, it could be very stern, very serious, extremely honest to the point where it could come off a little cold, right? So it's like I'm verbally stripping something apart, or a verbal lashing. For a lot of you, it could be looking at something very critically as well when we look at the challenge. Now, the Ace of Swords can also come in when we're trimming things from our lives, whether it's behaviors, habits, people, you name it. So it's like we have a stark difference in energy when we get to this Ace of Swords on the back end. So yeah, I definitely want to dive deeper on all this, Cappy. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Let's get a good shuffle here for my friends. Let's see what's happening. Guides, talk to me. And yes, this is where I go intuitive message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Ace of Cups. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Cappy, could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Ace of Cups time. What's it doing? Why is the Ace of Cups here? Here we go. Magician. Cool. I feel like this is a very positive energy showing up here. For a lot of you, there could be a big manifestation coming in, like something you've been wanting or working towards. I feel like for you, it might be just to the point where it's like, all right, well, it's here. I just got to make the final step, or it's coming close. I just got to lock it in. That's kind of the energy I'm picking up here. Now, a big chunk of you, this, whether you realize it or whether you don't, it's like you brought this to you. So whether it is relationships and love, whether it is a conversation of some sort, I feel for a lot of you, it can most definitely be a huge offer, a massive offer of some kind, and it feels really good to me. So if you're watching this for career-based things, the fact that we have all this energy, and now the Magician, it's like, all right, this is good. This has a lot of potential, Cappy. If you're dealing with relationship things, the same, right? Like it feels very straightforward to the point, and it's coming towards you. It might just be up to you to either lock it in or finish it off. That's kind of what I'm feeling here intuitively. Now, the Magician. Powerful energy of control. It is the master of all elements. That's why I was saying it's magnetic. It's pulling something to it. So a huge card of manifesting as well. So it's like, all right, something you've been creating is coming your way, and it's coming in quick. Whether it be a situation, whether it be a person, you name it. It's like it's coming at you magnetically, and I feel like this is very positive. Okay, so you might just have to lock it in. But I really like this. Feels like a huge offer of some kind, whether it is a talk or whether it's something career-wise. Let's keep moving. Let's see what's up here with the Hanged Man. I like that. I feel like we're starting off really nice. It's a good shift of energy from what I've been picking up for you in recent weeks. Let's see what the Hanged Man has to say for the Cappies, please. What is going on? Thank you. Yeah, I mean, this could be someone building up energy, like underneath the surface. This is really, really good. So yeah, it feels really fantastic to me because the Eight of Pentacles is usually a card of effort, work, career. And notice how this Hanged Man, he's like, I'm sitting, I'm watching. With all this wanting to put effort into things, I just feel like this is a lovely energy. Now, a little thing about the Eight of Pentacles that doesn't quite often get mentioned. This could sometimes be a card of someone wanting to do something right or even fix something. So when I see it underneath this Hanged Man, it's like, all right, how can I optimize this? Or how can I make this better? Or how can I fix this? So for a lot of Cappies, you might just be in that mode of optimizing things. But even if something feels like not much is happening on the surface with the Hanged Man, this Eight of Pentacles is like, no, I'm regenerating energy. I'm building up a lot of drive and energy here. So again, there could be some action coming to you, even if it seems like something has stalled out or seems like something isn't really moving. It really is. Like that, at least energetically, the energy is lining up for you. So again, I feel like this is really awesome, especially since the Eight of Pentacles is in the upright. Now, I'll repeat it again. I feel for a lot of Cappies in this time, you could fix things, mend things, if you want to, right? Like, don't feel forced that you have to. But when I see the Hanged Man in this, it's like, all right, let's fix it. Let's optimize it. Let's make it smooth. Let's just keep moving. Let's see what that Ace of Swords is. So whatever direction you're heading in, it's like, all right, we're running a smooth ship here, or I'm going to make sure we run a smooth ship. I'm not going to make mistakes of the past. I feel like it's nice. Let's see what the Ace of Swords has, and we'll do a quick little recap before we get into the shadow. So nice energy for you this week, Cappy. What do we got with the Ace of Swords? Okay. Yeah, Hermit in reverse, so it's like one after another, and this is really awesome. And remember, I said here in the beginning when the Hanged Man came up that it's similar to the Hermit. It's like retracted, pulled back. Now we have the Hermit coming up in reverse, so it's like, boom, we got multiple here. Now, if you are in a decision or a choice, or you're in a choosing period, or you're like, all right, I could go in a couple different directions, Spirit could be telling you, like, maybe go with the logical one, even though there's great energy here around the emotional. The Ace of Swords, it just makes logical sense. So it's like, yeah, this feels great, but this one just makes logical sense. I feel intuitively on my end that might be the good path to walk down. But Hanged Man in reverse is that energy starting to move. So again, it's like you got multiple great things coming your way. One comes from attracting it in. This other one comes from your actions and your hard work. So it's like we have two different paths or two different options coming in. So for a lot of you, you might have a choice on the table pretty soon. Now, if you're connected to a Virgo, this is the only time this energy might be a little bit dicey with the Hanged Man in reverse underneath the Ace of Swords, because it could be like a very serious, straightforward, honest, no frills type of conversation. So whether it's another earth sign or even you, like, it's like, I've held my tongue for too long. You might feel the urge to let it rip verbally. So watch out for altercations. I would say, oh, that's a little side message for some of you, but it's like, yeah, I'm not biting my tongue, or I've held my tongue for too long. But I feel overall this is a very positive energy. So let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow card. If you kindly look in the box, lots of different energies flowing through this week. Position number 1, we're starting here with the Ace of Cups clarified by the Magician in the upright. Beautiful. I did say there could be a big manifestation coming in, massive offer opportunity. Now, if you are stuck in the middle somewhere and it's like, oh, this feels right, this is logically making sense, I do feel the logical choice might be the one to go with, but this feels great as well. It's like you can't really lose here. There's 2 good options coming in. So I feel for a lot of you, especially for career, that's really awesome. Moving to the center, we do have the Hanged Man with the 8 of Pentacles. So something that might seem like it's not moving is really regenerating and building up energy underneath. And we see the energy does break forward when we get to the back end. So I feel like this, again, is really nice. Great energy around being able to tweak things, fix things, mend things, or run a smooth ship. So I like this. On to the back end, we have the Ace of Swords with the Hermit in reverse. A little warning I had here, if you're linked to Virgo, or even just in general, maybe you have some Virgo placements yourself. It's like, I'm not going to bite my tongue. Like, if I see something funky, I'm going to call it out. But with all these aces, yeah, there's a lot of talking and communicating going on, but I just feel lots of paths and options opening up for you, which I think is awesome here. So please feel free to take a screenshot if you want to look into those further. Let's see what's in the shadows for you. So let's get a good shuffle here for the Cappies. Please, what is in the shadows for my good friends? And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. If you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this shadow card out. What is going on? Thank you. Hey, the Magician again. So I mentioned it when this card first came out that, yeah, it's a card of control, and it's very magnetic. It's pulling things towards you. Now, a lot of times that's a good thing, where it's like, whether I was realizing it or whether I wasn't, like, I'm pulling this energy to me, which is really awesome. But at the same time, when we're pulling things towards us, sometimes there's a few unsavory things, sometimes there's positive. It's a mixed bag. Now, one thing I do say about the dark side of the Magician, or the shadow side, is that sometimes it can represent control. So for a lot of us in life, we want to control our destiny, control our path, or even control a situation. When this card shows up in the shadows, it does speak about realizing that sometimes in life there's going to be things that are out of our hands that we can't really control. Hopefully, you don't have someone in your life that is too overly controlling or a micromanager. That could be the case with this Magician. But I feel for the vast majority of you, this is an extremely positive energy to show up in the shadows. Because it's like, yeah, Capricorn, it's coming. It's coming in. So I feel like this is great. So we're going to put him down right there, Cappy. That's what I got for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details. The January subscriber surprise. If you would like to get a personal reading from me and get a little forecast for what 2025 has in store for you, you can check out my website and digital calendar at mastermetaphysics.com to look for availability. But for the January subscriber surprise, we are once again giving away 3 copies of the beautiful Everyday Witches Tarot. It's one of my favorite decks. And if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, what is your main goal for the 2025 calendar year? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab as usual, my friends. Much love, and I'll see you soon.